How's this for a light paintbrush, huh? This is the Aputure Amaran PT1c. It is a 1-foot full RGB WW LED tube that just came out from Amaran, and this thing packs one heck of a punch in a foot of space. Now, we'll start off by saying this. As a shooter, one tool that has become absolutely indispensable for me in the last year and a half or so has been these little 1-foot LED tubes. They are so versatile and so flexible. Now, the Aputure PT1c does pack a lot of interesting features in it that help kind of separate it and are going to be important factors when you're trying to figure out if this is something you want to put into your light kit. Now, just like anything that comes from the Aputure or the Amaran family, I think the first thing you need to start off talking about is the actual light quality itself. And one thing I love about this brand is you know if you're getting it, you're going to be getting a good quality light. This has a 95 CRI and 370 lumens of power. So it packs a lot of punch, and you know you can rely on it if you're in a situation where, let's say, you have to get an emergency key. This is still going to give you good skin tones where you're going to be rolling on. Now, away from the actual lighting quality itself, the body of this actually comes with some really, really important features that are going to be critical if you're thinking about getting a 1-foot tube light. The first one is it is magnetic, which is really, really helpful. And I'll pull a C-stand in here just so you can kind of see. And the first thing is you can see the magnets are really strong. It'll sit here and stay right on there. And the other thing is if you're ever in a situation where, let's say, you need maybe an emergency kicker or a hair light, well, check this out. You could take a C-stand arm like this, and the magnet's strong enough, you can actually put it, boom, it'll hold up there, no problem, and get you what you want. But it has another feature hidden on there that I think you're gonna be blown away with. I know I was. These end caps are actually rotatable. So let's say, for instance, I do need to have a situation where I have a hair light like this. Well, this light is pointing straight down. What if I want to point it forward? Well, check this out. I can actually rotate these caps, and now you can put it up there, and now you can see it's got a clear angle down. So now I'm hitting the back of someone's hair if I needed a hair light. This is an incredibly powerful feature, something I didn't know that I needed, but now I don't think I'll ever be able to get a tube light and not want to have this feature on there just because it's so versatile. And speaking of the ends of this, the other thing that's really nice is you can see not only do they rotate, but they are ridged. And what's really great about that is that means you can take your light, and if you're setting it on the floor, setting on something, you can rotate it on angles, so the light will give you some flexibility as it rotates. Just a really, really well thought out design. And on the end of it, you do have a 3/8 hole on each side of the light. So you can basically use this and rig it up on more traditional stands if you want something that's a little more secure. Now, there is one other design on this light that I think is absolutely worth mentioning because it could make a huge difference whether or not you need a light like this. And that is this right here. You can actually see this is the battery that powers the light. Now, if you're powering this thing at full power, you get about a 70-minute runtime, which is pretty good at full power. My experience is most of the time we never run these little 1-foot accent lights at full power. I know I was doing this to test with this the other day. I was able to put it at about 35% power, and I got hours of working on this and still had about 0.25% power at the end of a full day of shooting. So this thing will run you a long time. But what's great about this is you see this battery? It is replaceable. There's actually a little hex screw here. You can pop the battery in and out. So what that means is two things. The first thing is, let's say you get a second battery. If you want to go for a longer on the day, you have a second battery that you don't have to wait to charge it. But really what I consider the most important thing about having a battery like this is these lithium-ion batteries always degrade over time. It's just basic science. And what having this here means is you can buy this light and know you can use it for years and years on end, because if the battery goes down and stops being as efficient, you can replace the battery and still have the light. These LED lights last years, much longer than the batteries, and this is a fantastic design feature that basically means that when you get these tube lights, you're gonna have them for basically as long as you want in your kit, because you can replace the batteries when they wear out. Now, the back of the light itself is actually pretty minimalist and got a couple buttons here, very, very easy to figure out. Now, the big thing you want to see if you go to the main menu is you have a couple of things. You have light mode access, Bluetooth setting, DMX settings, and system settings. Now, one thing about this light that I think really separates it apart, especially for the price point that it comes from, is you do have DMX control through the USB-C port. Now, this is actually a fantastic thing because that means you can hook this up to multiple ones, and having a light like this with DMX control gives you a lot of future potential. Now this light has the modes you would expect from something like this. It has a color temperature mode from 2700K up to 10,000K. It has an HSI mode, which is full RGBW color tunability, including saturation. It has a standard system FX like lightning, paparazzi, fire, all that stuff that you expect in most lights these days. But this thing also comes with Pixel FX. And this is a really, really cool feature in this light because this light has a 4 pixel per foot custom light control that you can do. This gives you a ton of flexibility. Now, obviously I have this on the rainbow effect, just because it's kind of fun and cool, but you can do a lot with this. So for instance, even though I have this going at 30 centimeters a second, I could actually come down and let's say I wanted something more static, I could slow it up. If I wanted it even crazier, I could do that. If I wanted something more simple, I could do like a 2-color pixel, which basically has 2 colors that sort of chase each other. I can set these colors however I want. This is really, really handy if you're doing product stuff. Maybe you just want that dynamicism that can come with a changing light. So this light really brings a lot of flexibility for creative kind of pixel control as you want to go. Now, as many cool features are packed in this light, it actually has one more feature that actually is what lets it truly be unlocked. And that is the fact that this is Bluetooth and it's part of the Amaran and Aputure family, which means you can use the Sidus Link to control this light. And this is really how, in my opinion, you can really get in the nitty-gritty and really control everything in this light. What's really nice about this, you can set this light up somewhere as an accent light, get here on the app, and control everything in there. And the Sidus app is a fantastic little app. So as you can see here, I can literally come in and easily control my light. Very, very easy. It's very, very simple to control everything. Touch the colors. If I want a yellow, if I want a green, I can do that. I can really start to come in here if I see a specific color that I like. I can do that. It'll change to that color. Really, really nice. And then this is also where, in my opinion, you can really unlock the Pixel FX. You can come in and decide how many colors you want. You can dictate what those colors are. Basically, even do a custom color pick. Really gives you a lot of flexibility. So having this light connected to the Sidus app, man, it just makes it so powerful knowing you can put all your lights up. And I know when I'm on a set, being able to sit down, I'm looking at my computer monitor, and then I can just pull up this app very, very quickly and dial something in, or my gaffer can dial something in, makes this really, really powerful. So this light has a lot of amazing features that I find really, really awesome. It's actually probably my favorite 1-foot tube light I've ever actually come across because of all the features it packs into it. But it's not perfect. There are a couple cons or things that I think should be pointed out that aren't necessarily cons, but things you should know if you have the light. The first is this has a really sleek white color and it looks really cool. It's great. However, I do find myself with 1-foot tubes specifically, I will often put them in the shot as practical lights. And man, you just can't beat a nice black casing on a tube. I don't think Amaran is going to be coming out with a black case for this. I think it's just going to be white. So if you're someone that may be putting these in places where it's going to be shown up in camera, this white may become a little distracting for you. I think it's something you could probably fix with a little gaff tape if you need it on the ends, if you're desperate for it. But that is something that some people are going to absolutely love the white back. Some people might find it distracting. It's something that should be pointed out. And really the only other con I have, and this is just a tiny little gripe, is all tube lights I know, they tend to put their charging port here on the back. And what happens if you're putting this against something, it means you can't charge it while you're putting it up. And if you have these lights up for many, many hours, you might want to just have it plugged into a source. I really, really wish that they had a screw on one end, and it would have been nice to have the charging point there just so you could charge it from the side. But that's a small gripe. I've never actually met a tube light that didn't charge from the back. It's just one of those things, I just wish someone would do that on a tube light at some point. But that's basically it. I mean, those are small, tiny little gripes, and I really think this is an incredibly powerful light. And if you're going to be taking the time to invest in a lighting system, I really think this light has longevity built in mind. The fact that it's built with one of the most popular systems out there in the Aputure and the Amaran line, and the fact that it has this removable battery, that means that this light will far exceed basically anything else you buy that has a locked-in internal lithium-ion battery. This thing means you can take it and it'll last for basically as long as you want it to last. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Please leave me notes and comments down below. And yeah, go out there, keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.